welcome to Office Hours. I am Steve Drost. With me, as always, Will Kaplan. Of course, Will and I are both from the Quivr CRM team. And what is Quivr? We are the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors. And our objective is incredibly simple. We want to help you run your business at peak efficiency. Now, each episode of Office Hours, we tackle a couple of cool items that came directly from our users who are trying to do just that. They're trying to make their life a little bit easier. Will, you were telling me about a ticket that came in from a user about tasks, specifically tasks that they need to do, but they don't need to do them for real.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are those weird tasks that, like, I know this is going to happen sometime in the future, but I can't control when I'm going to get this data, so I don't really know. Like, maybe I'm waiting. I think the one from the example that this individual sent in was, I need to update cost basis. I don't know when I'm going to get the cost, but like, I have to wait for the client, or I have to wait for a CPA, or I have to wait for like maybe a custodian. Like, that data is coming from somewhere, but I don't have any control, and so I need to keep like, what do I do with that? I don't want that due now because it's clogging up my task list, but how do I keep it kind of out there as a reminder, as that, we talk about this sometimes like as an accountability partner issue, but like, I don't want it today, but I don't really know when I'm going to need it. How do I deal with stuff like that?
And I probably have one or two things for every single one of my clients like that. I mean, I had a meeting with a client not too long ago, shortly after the big, beautiful bill passed. And it was talking about the changes of their student loans. But one of the things was the buyback of the PSLF years. Well, you can't do that until I might get this wrong. It's 12 to 18 months or something. Like, basically, buying it back has to have you reach the 10 years, I'm pretty sure. Got it all documented. So I'll reread that. That decision point for us isn't for like 4 years. I don't want to forget that. So I'm going to still put it in my system. And we have those tasks in the system that I just don't need to touch until 2028 or 2029. And this individual, clearly they're doing good work because they care and they have all of these things that they want to do in the future. Some of them, they control the timing. Some of them, they don't. So how do we keep track of all of that?
It's tricky, right? Because like, there's a compromise going on there in terms of, I know I need to do it. I don't need to do it today, but I certainly don't want to forget about it. Got to keep, like, I kind of have to keep it in front of me. I mean, it's kind of the what's the expression, the pot on the back of the stove that if you forget about it, it's going to boil over, but you need to kind of, you don't really need to pay attention to it right now because it's just going to simmer all day long, but you got to kind of keep an eye on it. Like, it's one of those things that, how do I deal with this? What am I supposed to do with this? And one of the things that we were talking about is, well, when you create a task in Quivr, it doesn't have to be due now, right? Like, I mean, I think one of the beautiful things about a lot of the stuff that Archr creates is, I know I need this. I know I need it for this year. It's not due till the end of the year. It's not due till the tax deadline the following year. But like, when I'm looking at that client, I want to see it. I want to know that that client has an R&D or does QCDs or is going to do a Roth conversion or, any number of these strategies that we hammer on all the time, but I don't need to know about it today. And so when you post date these tasks, they show up, they're in there in the system. When you go to a homepage, you can see it, or excuse me, not a homepage. When you go to the client's household page, you see it, it's there. But then there's that piece that's missing for me. I want that accountability partner of, how do I get this? How do I get a reminder about some of these longer term tasks, but slower? I don't need it every day. Maybe I need it every couple of weeks, or maybe I just need it every month, or maybe every quarter, where it's just like, okay, quarter just ended. Show me the stuff that is due, 6 months from now. And that's one of just the amazing things about Salesforce is the reporting engine is just so powerful that not only can you run these reports and get the information that you need, but you can subscribe to the reports. And so, like, I remember, when I was still practicing, I'd get email digests of tasks that were due, in the next quarter. And you get an email and it's like, here's kind of a sample of the list. And then you click on this link and it takes you to the report and you can review all of it. And it's just such a great reminder of like, there's stuff due.
Yeah, how I approach this, and honestly, a lot of the foundation of Quivr is meant to handle what this individual is going through. I want things in my CRM as early as possible. And I do that through Archr. We populate 600, 700, maybe 800, I lost count, tasks and workflows on the first of the year. If you're an IRA contributor, I want that workflow kicked off on the first of the year. However, it's not due until February 15th of the following year because I don't need to do it now, and I'm not going to do it on January 1st. But I want to know about it later. Roth conversions, RMDs, you name it. I want all that stuff in the system. But the student loan person, I want that in the system. But if we then think about how Quivr is meant to function, when you log in, the first thing you see is your daily docket. And your daily docket, assuming you have that widget on your daily docket, which we highly recommend you do, is going to show you every task that's overdue or due in the next 10 days. So when I log into Quivr on January 1st, I'm not going to see any of those IRA tasks. I'm not even going to realize they're there until I go to a different section in the system. So let's say I'm in the meeting module preparing for the meeting, and now it's April 12th, and I'm getting ready for my surge, or I'm in a surge meeting. Well, that IRA workflow is not going to show up on my homepage because I don't necessarily care about it today. But when I prepare for that meeting, I am going to see that in the meeting module. And now what I can do is make sure that I ask the client about that. So I might say, hey, do you have the $7,000 that contribute to the IRA today? Or let's just get this done with. If they say, yes, perfect, I will now move the date of that workflow up to today, and we'll work through that. If they say, no, I want to do it later, or whatever reason you decide to do it later, you just don't touch it. You leave it as is. And then when you go to your fall surge or your fall meeting with the client, you're going to have the same conversation. It either gets done or we leave it out there. But come February 15th, the day that I said that that needs to get done by, that's now hitting my homepage. So now I am being told, hey, the Halperts have not made this. It is tax time. It is time to get this done. So it's no longer just a, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. It's now a, hey, it is time to get this done. It hits my daily docket. It hits my homepage. I see it right away. So I'm putting that information in front of me at the exact right times, plural times that I need it. When I'm talking to the client, when I'm preparing for meetings, or when the absolute due date has occurred.
Yeah, and I think that's the key piece. That's what the differentiator is. It's not like I necessarily have to go look for this thing. It's going to show up when it needs to. When I'm preparing for the meeting, it's right there. If I'm reviewing a household, it's right there. If I'm, waiting until it's actually due, it's going to show up on the homepage. Like the idea is the system becomes, it's giving you the data that you need when you need it. These are the tasks that are due now.
So this individual with cost basis, well, it's coming from the custodian. Well, which the custodian? It's Fidelity. Okay, well, Fidelity can take up to 4 weeks. All right, move that task out 4 weeks from today and then go check. Because if you don't have it, you're probably going to get on the phone. If you do have it, you can now go complete the work that you need to complete because it's now time for you to actually do it. It seems so simple, maybe, like, oh, tell me when a task is due. But Quivr, though, we are showing you the information that we believe you need when you need it, because we have sat in all of these seats. I know I want to see that IRA workflow before I meet with a client because I want to make sure it's part of the agenda. But if I don't meet with that client, I don't really care because I'll bring it up when I meet with them, right? So we're giving you that information when you need it. And really, you were talking about reports and dashboards and queries and emails. You can do that too. So if you have an obscure, unique way that you want to see activity, come to office hours. We'll show you exactly how you can do that. And it's not hard. I'm sure the thing that you were building and explaining took 20 minutes to set up, maybe. We could talk about this for hours. We love operations, probably too much, but we got to wrap it up today. If you're a Quivr user, remember, join us on Wednesdays for office hours. If you have a question, even if you think it's a dumb question, like how do I handle my tasks that are due in 3 months? It seems, it's a pretty simple question on the front end, but me and Will could talk about this for 2 days. Like, come and ask us. We have a very intentional reason for doing things inside of Quivr, and odds are that your needs are going to be met by our foundation that we already have. So we want to help you with the things that are bothering you or the things that you think you can find efficiencies in. If you're not a Quivr user, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But remember, it is not too late. Schedule a demo. Come hang out with me. Come hang out with Will. See Quivr live. See it in action. But most importantly, see what it can do for you and see what it can do for your firm.